A little surprising to me. You know, you usually see it here, and last night in the truck race, especially the bottom lane kind of launches better than the top. But maybe they have something worked out, honestly, between maybe teammates to where they let them in and then they kind of just settle in their groove. But I think as this race goes on, especially if you have laps on your tires, you're going to see the leader take the bottom more times than not.
This could be the Joey Logano Dipsy Doo or
the Okie Dokie.
Okie Dokie is coming our way.
I thought we had graduated from that. Logano not in the booth, and we've already brought it back. All Joe Gibbs Racing front row. 200 miles at Darlington. Off we go in South Carolina.
You know, ever since they repaved that little patch in 1 and 2, it's just crazy how much grip that spot has compared to what it used to. So you see a lot more drivers be able to go too wide through there a little bit easier than before. So that's something that, you know, has changed immensely ever since they paved that spot. As we got a great race for second with Truex trying to hang on to it.
Sam Mayer with the power move, but Ryan's not giving up. Sometimes the Okie Dokie will bite the guy on the inside and he'll lose that spot to second place, and that's what has happened here.
Sam Mayer not playing the Okie Dokie game. He's up there with no teammates. All of his friends qualified outside the top 10. He's on his own and doing some positive things early. Second behind Nemechek.
He was really good yesterday in practice, too. As you see Parker Retzlaff battling with Cole Custer. I know he's one of your favorites. Custer's got a fast car, and he's gone on a little bit of a roll this year, starting to get things together.
Yeah, I think they are, you know, and this is a place I think that Cole can excel at. And like I said, I think they have decent speed here, more speed than honestly I've seen that car have this year. So hopefully they'll be able to contend for a win today. I know Cole likes this place, and I think, you know, Stewart-Haas in general has this place figured out pretty good.
This is the Ford Performance onboard camera. You expect Custer to be good? The driver behind him maybe not so much. Parker Retzlaff had never seen this place, but the teenager is 7th right now.
This is my favorite camera. It makes me feel like a race car driver again. I want you to talk to the people at home about what it's like to come off turn 2. We're on board with Cole Custer. Watch this bounce off turn 2. What's that feel like with your foot on the floorboard? Bam!
Yeah,
look at that.
So you really see his head moving. We have caution out.
It comes early. 3 laps in, and our first yellow flag. We're looking at the 18 of Sammy Smith. 18-year-old high school senior from Iowa, and we'll see what happened to him. The team car so good yesterday, as we mentioned, from Joe Gibbs Racing. Started just outside the top 5.
Oh, inside of Riley.
Yeah, you know, that's such a tough spot. He did a heck of a job saving that car. That's such a tough spot to enter too wide in. You know, especially these Xfinity cars, that side force is so important and they don't have much of it. So when you enter really even into that corner, there's no room to begin with. And if the 18, you know, since he doesn't kind of get him on his quarter panel, it just gets you so loose. So he did a good job saving that, but he'll be probably down to 7 tires.
You almost have to take like a whole car on the apron just to get air on your right side because he's going to be on you so tight, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good explanation by the spotter, because, you know, it's a back and forth because it's so narrow into there, but he said go to the apron, but it's so flat and there's no grip down there. But you'll see that a lot when you have this. Exciting racing so far.
Nice save for Sammy Smith.
So caution flag number 1 is out here at Darlington Raceway. Sammy Smith going for a spin over there in turns 1 and 2. John Hunter Nemechek is your race leader. Sammy Smith, Ryan Truex, Chandler Smith, and Kyle Larson. That's how they run in the top 5 right now. Under caution again for the first time. You have the 0-2 of Blaine Perkins that just came on and off pit road. There was right side damage to that Chevrolet Camaro. It looked like Blaine had gotten on the outside wall with his payday yesterday. So he made a pit stop. You see him there on NASCAR TV. Of course, he's got the Kevin Harvick 2003 payday for them this week in Darlington. Nicely done. pick the inside lane for this restart, so we'll get the green flag next time by. Reminder that Darlington Raceway now offers fans free Wi-Fi powered by Verizon. So access that to the select hashtag Darlington
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Ford, built for America, and by the Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express card. Wrapping up our first caution of the day here at Darlington for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear, powering the race from green flag to checkered flag and every mile in between. Goodyear, more driven. We've done the choose. Nemechek again says, give me that outside lane.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's
it wasn't
making me eat my words here. I don't know.
We saw last night in the truck race big launches down on the bottom, but John Hunter must have liked what he felt up top, and Truex went up there behind him, lining up behind his teammate. Big pushes help here.
That's what I was going to say. What factor is that? Because you want to have a little shove from behind, I assume. We'll see what the 19 does to assist the 20. Restart coming less than 10 laps in.
What an even start that was. Look at those guys all bunched up.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe he should have took the bottom. Yeah, you know, you just saw the 20 spinning tires, and the 19's kind of shoving him, and, you know, 19's trying to help the 20 go, but they were kind of connected in a weird spot, and the one car, I mean, gosh, he's making it happen here early and getting out to the lead.
He just exploded. In fact, I think he was actually in front of the 20 at the start-finish line. When they got to turn one, he was gone. Sam Mayer in that throwback to Kurt Busch's rookie campaign at the Cup level.
That Sharpie car, I remember that well when Kurt showed up, and he meant business from the word go.
Worked out for him, didn't it?
It did. It's good to have him on the Fox team every now and then. Such a great guy, living a good life. Oh,
Sammy Smith having problems again. This time we are staying green.
well, we suspected, Ryan, that those tires were going to be hurting after that big long slide, and I'm sure this is a result of that.
Well,
or maybe not.
bottom of 3 probably isn't.
Well, the spotter told him to go on the apron.
He went on the apron. That's a hard hit right there.
One of the best. I mean, that's the 7 of Justin Allgaier, who's won the last 2 spring races here.
Yeah, a little rough start for Sammy there. I'm sure he'll get it squared away and get back going, and be curious to see if Custer has any damage. I don't know if he got the left rear tire or not, but
3142, chase that 31.
Here's that camera we were riding on when the first spin happened, and just take us through a lap here at Darlington, Ryan. It's so difficult. I don't think people at home can even imagine what it's like to run down to the corner at 170 and run inches off the wall.
yeah, you know it is. I'd say this is the most mentally tough track we go to. You know, so 1 and 2 is really long and sweeping, very narrow. You know, you see him kind of clipping the apron. You're driving up towards the wall here. And here's the new patch. It's pretty smooth on the new patch. There's a couple big bumps here, and then that's the biggest bump right there that really jars you. And that's the toughest one, because you're like coming out of the corner, your car's kind of decompressing a little bit, and then it just pops you up even more. So that's a super tough spot. And then you hear the off throttle time is way more in 3 and 4. It's just tighter, it's slower. But there's plenty of options as you see all these different lanes being run as the 98's been in the fence.
Yeah, we were on board with Cole Custer. Here's his teammate Riley Herbst, that Ken Block throwback, and
Smith's coming with him too, Adam.
going to come down pit road, and yeah, Sammy Smith going to make a pit stop as well. Obviously unscheduled. You would never want to pit under green, and man, he did get into the wall pretty good there, right? I don't know what it is about Justin Allgaier. He's a magnet for the problems today. Gets hit by Sammy Smith, and here right behind Riley Herbst. Josh?
Yeah, tough break for the 98. He hit the wall there, and a tire went down for him, so he's going to have to come in and get that replaced. They're going to put 4 tires on his Riley Herbst.
That was a big hit. It could have damaged that front suspension for sure.
This is a driver that started the year with 6 consecutive top 10s. And we're like, he is going places. Last 4 races, he's finished outside the top 20. In early trouble today, Kyle Larson looking good in the 10. He's running 5th right now. Coleman?
Yeah, and if you look at Kyle Larson's line, it's definitely showing he has a lot of confidence in his car. One thing he's known for is his high entry to one. If you see him going into one here, he has that little bit higher entry. It lets him get to the wall, has some set up for exit of 2 and carry speed all the way down the back straightaway. Another move that Kyle's really known for here, he'll run the high line through 3 and 4, and then once he gets past the center of the corner, he does a really good job of getting it pointed down the hill and keeping his tires nice and straight to keep grip in it. So keep looking out for that as this run goes on. It's probably going to pay off for him.
And Ryan, everything that Coleman said are things that you guys study in the days leading up to the weekend, whether it's in sim or just looking at lap tracker. Everything that Kyle Larson does, you know what he's doing. Is it easy to do what he does?
Studying is one thing, applying it and doing it are a completely other thing. Yeah, I mean, Kyle's just really good at, you see the high entry, you see him putting a lot of pressure here on the 16, and watch, he's going to get to the wall, and he's going to kind of park the middle a little bit and then turn back down. Some guys follow the wall all the way around, but it's kind of a weird angle if you continue to run the radius. So Kyle does a good job of kind of getting to the center, turning, and then accelerating straight off of the corner. See, now he's going to try to just dart under him. So he's going to put him in a bad spot, force the 16 to lift. That's not a normal Kyle Larson line of oh, he didn't lift. So that's a big option too. You can shortcut the entry of 1, run on the apron, run low through the center of the corner and try to get alongside that guy and just put him in a bad spot for turn 2, and he did that perfectly.
I want to give some credit to Chandler Smith, who's hanging tough early. First time he's been here in an Xfinity car. We had one caution. We didn't get one here when Riley Herbst went up and kissed the wall. It's a theme at this place, the Darlington stripe, 16 laps in. It's a great time to be a NASCAR fan. This weekend throwback at Darlington. Next week we're going to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race, and in 2 weeks time a home game at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we celebrate one of the crown jewels in the Coca-Cola 600.
Did you ask Dad about how to run North Wilkes?
I don't think Dad ever ran there.
He didn't get to run there?
I think it was done just before he got into NASCAR. But I ran a late model race there in like 09 or 2010. So hopefully I can remember something of that race. But
let's check in with our pit reporters midway through our opening stage. Josh, what's up?
Well, Ryan Truex is still riding high off that win at Dover, but right now today he's brushed the wall a couple times, came over the radio, told the team, I'm losing rear lateral grip. We got to fix this, but not lose the nose. The team telling him, hey, man, you're still running fast laps. You're still P3. Relax out there. We'll get you fixed up, but keep doing what you're doing. Regan?
Well, Josh, it's been a good start to the race for Austin Hill, moving up as we see him trying to make the move for the 5th position right now. He started 10th. Things have been going good for that race car. The team was a little concerned, though, to start the day about if they could keep it tight enough for him as the runs went on. The early report from the driver right now, car just a little bit tight, maybe on the splitter just a little bit too much, but that's a good sign for what they need.
You saw the graphic. Austin Hill's won 3 times this year. They kind of needed a get-right race after back-to-back events outside the top 15. Got it at Dover when he was 4th and looks good early today. So does his teammate Sheldon Creed racing Chandler Smith. This is the battle for 7th.
Yeah, there's been a heck of a gaggle of cars here. You know, Chandler Smith was falling back a little bit, and it took Austin Hill a while to get by him, and they've been trying to reach it out, but Chandler's struggling. You know, he's loose. He can't get back to the gas, and you see, you know, the line of cars behind him. So he's trying super hard to hang on to it, but it's hard to do here. There's just no room to go and get out of the way.
This is just a heck of a battle. They're stacked up all the way back to the 11th spot with Daniel Hemrick back there. Brett Moffitt has moved into the top 10. He's a part of this big battle, and that's going to be contact.
And there was contact. I think Allgaier might have gotten Creed from behind.
You know, and that area has more grip, like I said, but you know, if you're side by side and you have no side force, and then the bump comes, so that was a worst case scenario situation there, and those two did a really good job of not wrecking, to be honest with you. Coleman.
Yeah, and one guy is really exciting to watch right here. Justin Allgaier started 17th today, drove up to 9th place, and he's doing it opposite of Kyle Larson. He's doing it on the bottom. He's running lower through 1 and 2 to stay out of the rubber, but the fun part to watch is down here in 3 and 4. He's getting all 4 tires below the line. It's a typical line here for Justin Allgaier. The tough spot about that is he can roll so much speed through the center of the corner, but if you get right here on exit of the corner, a very tough view for the spotter to clear him up from the top to from the bottom to the top. Now he just passed for P7 with the 2 getting in the wall. I expect him to keep moving forward here.
He got a little 2 for 1 right there.
He did. Well, the 7 is fast, but there, as Coleman said, he got an assist from Creed, who brushed the wall.
Wow, how about this battle? You can tell this race is only a couple 100 miles long. These guys are trying to get every inch, every lap. As you see, that beautiful Tim Richmond throwback for Brett Moffitt, trying to dive underneath and make it 3 wide. Can they get there?
Brandon Jones going to try to squeeze 3 wide top.
There it is.
There.
That's a great race.
Brandon Jones won here 2020, and that 9 car has won here twice in the last couple of years, courtesy of Noah Gregson, who left Junior Motorsports, moved on to Cup.
Here comes Larson. Larson around Truex for 3rd. You know, he's been working him over here the last little bit. He's ran down these top, and Truex loose.
Hanging on big time,
yeah,
wasn't he?
You know, Larson's running what he does. You know, he's so good at saving his tires. Look how high he's entering into turn 1, and it just, that is not only speed, it also saves your stuff too. If you're not kind of going across that apron and driving up the hill and scrubbing your fronts, you know, so it's 2 things that high entry to 1 does. It takes a lot of confidence to do it, and your car has to be good to do it, but Larson's always been one who's been able to make it work really well.
Right next to the fence. You put A.J. Allmendinger in that car at Coda. What happens? He wins. You got Kyle Larson here at Darlington. You got to expect that these guys are going to have to beat him to get the victory.
6 different drivers have been behind the wheel of the 10 car this year, and only 2 finishes outside the top 10. We're on board here with Riley Herbst.
Trouble.
Monster Energy onboard camera. Still have not seen the caution after he got into the wall in turns 1 and 2.
He dives down off the banking onto the end.
Second time, 98 has had problems today, at least the second time.
Looks like just a tire goes flat here.
Yeah, you know, car was already damaged, fenders pushed in, and it just wasn't wasn't cleared enough, I guess, and it eventually cut that tire down.
Ugh. I remember that sound.
It's not a fun sound.
It's a terrible sound.
This place will just swallow you up, and many times when it gets bad, it will get worse eventually. Talking about the issues for the 98 of Riley Herbst. Got to celebrate the man out front. Sam Mayer had not led laps this season since Phoenix, race number 4, but he's in charge today. Grabbed the lead on a restart at lap 7 from John Hunter Nemechek, and he's led the last 26 laps. 13 to go, stage 1. Mayer out in front of Nemechek, Larson, Ryan Truex, and Austin Hill. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Darlington on Fox. You saw it in our side-by-side coverage from Darlington. Kyle Larson up to the 2nd position. Only one caution today as you look at our progress bar. Riley Herbst has taken it to the garage. So the struggles continue in that camp.
Sammy Smith, after that problems early, is just battling to stay just one lap down. As you see, Riley Herbst has taken it to the garage. A lot of desperate racing right now with just a few laps to go in this stage.
27 cars on the lead lap as we close on the end of stage 1 here, Regan.
Well, Adam, the 16 to Chandler Smith started 6th, that moved up to the top 5, but now all the way back to 14th. Might be getting a little rookie lesson about the lady in black here at Darlington.
I'm so free now, dude. I just went away and I'm just wrecking loose.
Yeah, and it'll get you fast too. I mean, once you start abusing tire a little bit or your car's a little off, I mean, we've seen him slide around here for the last 15, 20 laps. It seems like it just gets worse. Like you can't do anything to get anything back. Like you have to have such an emphasis on saving your stuff early. Oh, we have a spin.
That's 27 of Jeb Burton. Won earlier this season at Talladega, already locked into the playoffs. And our 2nd yellow of the afternoon comes out with 6 to go in stage 1. He was 28th when it got away from him.
And Adam, I mentioned Sammy Smith. That was a huge break for him. He's just going to be one lap down. That means he can get a free pass at a stage break. He can make something happen. So he's still in contention in this thing, and we know how fast he is.
You get 2 down in a short race, it's pretty much game over. There's the 18.
Yeah, Jeb already loose. As he gets to middle of turn 3 and 4.
All right.
Now you're down to 5 laps to go on the stage.
That was my all right. I was just going to pose a question. What are we going to do now?
Couple of questions. One, do we even, get back green to end the stage? Number 2, if they open pit road, do you try to flip it here? Most places you would say, absolutely, let's give it a shot. But the tires are such a big deal here. Most would say, no, thank you. I'll wait till the end of the stage.
Yeah, and gosh, I'm sure we're going to go back racing. I mean, coming to 5 to go.
Yep.
It was just 1 car spin. I feel like you're going to have 2 or 3 laps, maybe even, probably 2. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should come and get tires.
I think we split the field. I think if you're up front, you want those stage points, you need those stage points, you stay out and get them. If you're back 10th or 15th, maybe come and get those tires and run around in about 50 seconds and just stay on the lead lap, and then bam, instant track position.
One driver I don't think will try it is our leader, because he needs those points. He's going to stay out, get the track position, get the points. Hey, later today, the 2023 USFL season continues. It's next on Fox as the Houston Gamblers take on the Birmingham Stallions. Then tomorrow, it's the Memphis Showboats against the New Orleans Breakers, 3 p.m. Eastern time, also on Fox, and it's all streaming on the Fox Sports app.
USFL has the best nickname. The Gamblers, the Stallions, the Maulers. Would you want to go up against the Maulers?
I'd be too scared to.
Pit road's open. We're going to get the question answered here. Do you pit and get those tires, flip the stage, or do you stay out?
I think you pit. But if you need stage points, you stay out.
Oh, I said Sam Mayer. He's staying out. He wants those points. And here is the reason I am not a crew chief. Some of them heading your way, Josh.
Well, yeah, the number 1 of Sam Mayer chose to come there and pit. He said he's free overall, and he has some wheel hop as well. He's leading, he's led 34 laps so far today. In terms of the 10 of Kyle Larson, said he's pretty good on the long run. Not sure how he compares on the short run to the other guys. Reed?
Well, the 00 Cole Custer losing a little bit of grip on entry with his car right now. Did catch the wall just a little bit, as pretty much everybody's going to do at some point during this race. And the 21 of Austin Hill, he started tight with the race car, as we reported earlier. It's getting better as he runs, though. Can't run the fence in 3 and 4. Said, I can't rip the fence like some of the other guys can and keep my momentum up.
So many drivers electing to pit here that you might be able to get some of that position back and still come through and manage a good finish in the stage. The race off pit road, and the first off, Austin Hill goes +4. Big for him. Larson, Nemechek, Ryan Truex. All right, great day at Darlington. Under caution for the 2nd time. The finish to stage 1 when we return. NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. Getting ready for the restart to end our opening stage. Going to be 2 laps to go here. The 51 of Jeremy Clement stayed out. Everybody else where they were when they came off of pit road.
May I point out that Ryan and I were race car drivers. We weren't crew chiefs, or we would have been staying out right there.
I know. That's why they get paid the big bucks to
right.
make decisions on top of the box. That's why Jonathan's there.
Well, and Sam Mayer pits, so then he loses the top spot on pit road, drops like 6 or 7 spots in the exchange of pit stops, and his teammate Justin Allgaier was caught speeding. Let's check in. Nope, we're going to let that rest. We're going to have some audio from the 51 on why they elected to stay out. Instead, we'll see how it plays out on track. 51 outside lane is the control car. Inside of him, the 10 of Kyle Larson.
This could get ugly. 51 is going to be in the way for sure.
Yeah, you saw how far back Custer laid off of him to make sure he didn't run him over because he knew that 51 was going to have wheel spin.
Good restart for Mayer. Got up to 4th. Might lose that spot. Outside lane, Cole Custer.
That's beautiful. And these guys just battling off turn 2.
Larson jumps to the lead. Good battle for 2nd. They came in 1-2 in points. The 20 is Nemechek. 21 is Austin Hill.
Austin Hill riding 3 straight top 10s here at Darlington, so he can get it done, and this is a great battle.
I've really enjoyed watching these guys go at it all year. I feel like they've been matching each other almost week in and week out on speed, wins. I mean, running up front, these guys are 2 great ones to watch.
They've combined to win 5 of our 10 races this year, and we're separated by 4 points coming into today. The advantage to Hill, but he might lose a point here as he's right behind Nemechek, ending the stage off of turn 4 and back to the green, white checkered flag. It's going to be Kyle Larson who gets it done. Stage number 1 at Darlington. He went all in on throwback right here.
Had him up in the booth.
Right, there you go. Nemechek 2nd, Austin Hill 3rd. Custer gets to the top 5. Mayer, who led all those laps, ends up 5th. Truex, Creed, Jones, Hemrick, Moffitt, your top 10. Kyle Larson has 13 career wins in the Xfinity Series. That was his 13th stage win at this level of NASCAR.
Lots of people out there select Legos, and then a lot of race fans come got their own collections. This is Lee from Colombia. What do you collect, Lee? Cars. Cars. He said it kept it simple. Check out this collection that we found driving around right now. I mean, you got some real classics here. Look at that number 2. Oh, by the way, Tiny London, very cool car. Banjo Matthews, this guy's got all kinds. What's your favorite car here, Lee? Number 2. The number 2 deal on that. And then also check out this John Wayne car. Don't see that one every day. But even when it's cars, we get a little action.
Dirt sprint cars and midgets, there's nothing like it. The power, the out of control.
You're on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Everything you do is so fast.
Racing obviously is dangerous. At the end of the day, I'm more alive being a race car driver than not.
This is dirt.
Looking forward to that premiere.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh,
that's
man,
super cool.
Is that the DVR?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch that. You know, a lot of great. Obviously, my dad was World of Outlaw driver for a long time, dirt sprint cars, and I have a love for that stuff. Even though I didn't do it a lot growing up, but I still love watching all that stuff. So that's amazing. I can't wait to see that show.
You think dirt at this level, and you think immediately of Kyle Larson, who wins the opening stage. We don't get to see him a lot in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but in recent years, when he's come over here to compete, he has delivered. You look at his numbers, 13 career wins. Only year he was full-time 10 years ago. There are the victories talked about. And he's won 5 of his last 8 starts. Those are Kyle Busch-like numbers for Kyle Larson.
And you know what I loved in that promo for Dirt, that great show we're going to see here on FS1? He said, these sprint cars are just so fast. I mean, we're running 180 miles an hour here at Darlington, an inch off the wall, and he just can't get over the thrill and the speed of the dirt cars.
Pit road open here, and this is the normal time to pit at the end of a stage, but because everyone pitted there with a couple to go and flipped it. This is a bunch of guys that were a lap down or elected to stay out at the end of the stage and will make their stop now. Among them, Jeremy Clements, who obviously fell backwards, but you know, on a better set of tires here as we begin the second stage, so a slight advantage there for the driver out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Stage 2 coming your way next. We're live on Fox.
gorgeous Saturday afternoon. As the field has just gotten the 1-to-go signal, they're choosing this time at the start-finish line to pick their lanes for the restart. Go back under the green flag. Stage 2 will end on lap 90.
Throwback weekend here at Darlington. Blaney, man, Walter, you still look good. You know that your hair.
Look at that animal.
Well, that was
baseball, football, everything.
If you look up Bo Jackson 1990 hero card, he was the man back then. I played football. I played baseball.
And you wrestled.
I wrestled.
You won a tackle box once.
Oh, my gosh.
Fun to be like Bo, man.
We're on
That's
network
awesome.
television, and the humility in this outfit, of all things. Coleman, what do you see on this restart?
It's going to be another old tire restart, which usually lends to the bottom lane. Kyle Larson chose the top. John Hunter Nemechek lost the lead earlier by choosing the top. We'll see if he can rebound right here by having the bottom lane given to him.
Couple of cautions in our opening stage. The yellow to end that first 45-lap run. Ready to return to the green flag. Second stage at Darlington for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
You see what Larson did? He's a lane off the wall. So he kind of forced everybody to be lower. He's trying to get a better launch. That was really smart by him because I feel like it's slicker the closer you get to the wall.
And a nice assist from Austin Hill, who pushes him out front.
And Austin Hill's got a really fast car. He was charging in that first stage. There he is on the outside of John Hunter.
So does Sam Mayer.
Oh, yeah.
He lost those spots on pit road, but he's coming back.
What happened there?
There's something didn't look right.
I think he lifted early because he knew those guys were side by side. And he wanted to try to, not get in such dirty air and make a run.
Wow.
He is now.
That's brilliant. Oh, crash.
Parker Retzloff in the 31 brings out our fourth caution of the day.
Keep it locked down. All right, that's all of them. You can roll.
There are two teenagers racing today that had never seen Darlington before this weekend. We've talked about the struggles for Sammy Smith. Parker Retzloff qualified great yesterday, dropped back outside the top 20, and he's the reason for caution number 4, was running 19th when it got away from him.
Yeah, middle of 3, off turn 4, Josh Berry to his outside, and they just come together, and that's a hard, turn 4 tightens up really quick, and, 3 wide off of there is almost impossible to people stay off each other, and, unfortunately things just got tight.
Yeah, Corey Heim was down on the bottom and just didn't leave enough room. They just squeezed all together. But it's hard to leave room at Darlington when there's not that much to start with.
This accident reminds me that Josh Berry has been very quiet today, and as you watch the replay, Justin Allgaier comes through in that red and silver number 7. Of course, he had the speeding penalty and had some ground to make up. Under caution, we'll take a break. 54 laps complete here at Darlington. It's stage 2. Kyle Larson out in front of the field.
September's here at Darlington Raceway as Parker Retzloff goes around in the middle of a 3-wide battle coming off of turn number 4 just a few laps ago to put us under the caution flag for now the 4th time here in the Shriners Children's 200. Kyle Larson still the race leader. Go down to Darrell Martin.
I just made a decision, a life decision I want to share with everybody. I need new friends. I need to make new friends. With Brian Raycroft. Brian, all my friends do is eat my food and drink my beer. Look at what Brian created for his friends today. Let's take it to us. What's this? Chicken wings? Have you ever seen better chicken wings? Go ahead and keep going down the line. how it's done. A lot of creativity. And if that wasn't cool enough, they got a whole living room set up here. Everybody's ready for nap time. They're going to enjoy some snacks. They're all hanging out with friends. And like I said, I'm a lifelong friend now, Brian. Whatever you need, I'm going to be there.
A very interesting setup down there in the infield. Let's go up there. Couple of times trying to repair the back end of that Chevrolet Camaro. Parker again is Jeff Striegel and Alex Saber were just talking about a moment ago. Just 19 years old from Wisconsin. First time he's ever been here to Darlington Raceway in an Xfinity Series car.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Geico. See how easy it is to bundle all your insurance needs.
Tune in as we count down to #1 on the greatest countdown show ever. Plus, don't miss the best fights, celebrations, driver rants,
I'm gonna bust his ass,
and bloopers in NASCAR history.
Seriously, I don't get fined.
Where will your favorite moment land on the list?
Can't wait for that. That's tomorrow at 7. The Tony Stewart comment.
That's got to be top 3.
It's one of the greatest all time for sure.
he put a couple of 3 syllables in that last word. He stretched it out. He was so mad.
And hey, NASCAR's done such a wonderful job with this, the 75th season of NASCAR. And we bill the Xfinity Series as the place where names are made. These are some of those that made the top 75 list that won titles right here racing on Saturday afternoon. Martin Truex Jr. on the pole for tomorrow's Cup race. Kyle Busch, so much success, the all-time wins leader. Chase Elliott, who won the title 2014 as a rookie, and his second career win came right here at Darlington that year when he beat some of the best. Here's the choose as we hit just over 10 laps gone by, stage number 2.
Sam Mayer taking the front row on the bottom, going to go from 3rd to the lead, or not lead, the front row. You know, we saw he had some pit troubles there at the stage 1 break, and he's battled his way back to be able to contend for the lead here on this next restart.
Couple of things to point out here. At the end of stage 1, Jeff Burton got the free pass. Under this caution, free pass goes to Sammy Smith. So the 18 is back on the lead lap. Austin Hill, row 2 for the restart.
If he touches my car one more time, he's going head on. I hope his Honda's tight. He just hit me right in the left rear tire, just trying to cut it down.
I mean, you want me to relay the message, or are you just saying that out loud?
I don't really give a flum, honestly. I'm sick and tired of it.
10-4.
A NASCAR Race Hub radioactive moment on a Saturday at Darlington.
Yeah, you know, he and the 20 were racing pretty hard, and I think they had a little contact into 3 there before the caution, and he gave him a little one-finger salute, possibly.
That's a warning, right?
Yeah, it's usually a warning. It's always nice. You get out of the way. You let people know how you're feeling, and you move on.
Austin Hill's a country-strong cat, too. I wouldn't want him to be mad at me.
Reminder, Sam Mayer, last time when he got the race lead, he took it when he was on the front row with John Hunter Nemechek. We'll see if the one can get it done here. But a different guy beside him this time.
Guy. Yeah, Larson spinning tires, but Larson's going to send it off into 1. Try to stay on his outside because then he knows he's in the preferred groove.
Larson rings that top.
Yeah.
Exits 2 with the lead.
Custer through to 3rd, jumps up in front of Austin Hill.
Not a good 1 and 2 for Austin Hill there.
Nemechek started on the pole, led laps early, has fallen back to 5th in that 20 car. And racing right up behind Austin Hill.
That's going to be an exciting battle to watch. You know, both those cars are pretty fast. The 20 was probably a little bit faster than the 21 the first run. And so now it's like picking your spot, right? Like, how hard do I want to go to try to establish myself on the restart on fresher tires? But if I go, oh, we got the 48 in the wall.
Parker Kligerman.
Damaged that left rear.
Being
shown 28th right now, but was 10th when the car got away from him and he hit the wall. Keep in mind, he was above the cut line a couple of weeks ago going to Dover. got wrecked early, nothing to show for their work there, and now this. So they're going in the wrong direction over at Big Machine right now when it comes to points. And now we get our 5th yellow of the afternoon. Sage Karam in the 44 driving for Alpha Prime.
Second time he's been into the wall this weekend, but I don't think this one's repairable.
Yeah, that's big damage. He's got right front suspension damage. We saw him in qualifying yesterday. He sent it on the fence, and they fixed it up for today, and just having a tough go of it. As we also have 78, Anthony Alfredo in the Dale Jr. throwback with some damage.
A whole lot going on, and this is our 5th caution of the day. There's Kligerman.
48 looks like he's got a problem. He might have a flat tire or something. Just an unfortunate spot to have an issue, you know, for the 78 and for Parker, honestly. You know, that it's just so tight and you can't see anything, and gosh, shame those guys got tore up.
Was that a left rear down on that 48?
Ooh.
Is that Stephen Parsons in the Ollie's 07?
It is. A little damage on the front end of that Bobby Dotter car. Look at Earnhardt swerving to miss him.
Good thing he had his Wheaties this morning.
Free pass here goes to Gray Galding. That'll put 36 cars on the lead lap, closing on the middle portion of this second stage. That's a lot of cars to have on the lead lap, and I only bring that up because that could play a huge role late in this race when you start talking about a caution coming out and do you pit and get tires or not. Regan?
Well, Adam, just an update on the 8 car of Josh Berry, somebody who we would have expected to have been up front by now in this race. It has been the struggle bus for them. That car has been extremely loose. In Josh's words, a 10 out of 10 loose with the race car. The last pit stop that they had right before the stage break, significant changes, so bad that they had to go in and make sure there was nothing broken on the right side of the car. He felt like there could potentially be more issues than just a handling issue with the right side of that car. So a lot of work to try and get that 8 car back up front.
There have been some surprises today when you look at the running order, and those drivers that are outside the top 10 and probably at the top of that list would be Josh Berry. But then you look at some drivers inside the top 15, top 10 that have surprised. And one of those running 12th, Carson Hocevar, a regular in the Craftsman Truck Series, making only his 2nd Xfinity start. He has been impressive in the 77 for Spire.
He always is. No matter where he goes or what he does, he impresses. Got that big win in Texas in the trucks finally after 4 second-place finishes, and just gets it done behind the wheel. And it's really fun to see him getting this opportunity in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, he's came up through there pretty good. Started 25th. He's up to 12th. Ty Dillon started 30th. He's up to 13th. So I figured Ty would be strong in that 3 car, and it seems like he's starting to pick his way through the field here.
Last time we saw the 3, Jeffrey Earnhardt driving it. Last year at Talladega, started on the pole and finished 2nd, his career best. Ty has won in this 3 car. Did so at Indianapolis 2014. That was the only win for RCR at the Brickyard. Did you know Richard Childress Racing never won in the Xfinity Series at Darlington?
I did not know that. I find that very hard to believe. Wow.
8 Cup wins here, all courtesy of Dale Earnhardt, but they've never won here in the Xfinity Series. Could change today. You got Ty Dillon up there, Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed inside the top 6. While we have a minute, we remind you of some great stuff on the way this week on FS1 as we look ahead to North Wilkesboro.
You could see everything was sort of still there. It was just how they left it.
You grow up with it, you kind of take for granted that it's always going to be there.
When it goes away, you're like, man, that didn't have to happen.
Reopening North Wilkesboro Speedway. How hard could this be?
Tell me a stadium, a sports venue anywhere in the United States that got resurrected.
I never thought about them ever using Wilkesboro for a racetrack anymore.
Marcus would come by and he'd say, hey man, just so you know, I haven't forgotten about Wilkesboro. What does that mean, Marcus?
I felt bad that there was so much disappointment. We're in the entertainment business. We like to make people happy.
NASCAR's run a full circle. They're coming back home.
Yeah, we're going to have an all-star race there, but this is way beyond the all-star race.
Just feels so good, doesn't it? Heading back to North Wilkesboro.
This is going to be great for all involved. And from a driver's perspective, what does it mean to be literally throwing it back next week and racing on that short track in North Carolina?
Yeah, 2 unique weekends, right? I mean, coming here, throwback weekend, and then we're resurrecting North Wilkesboro. So I think it's amazing. I think it's a perfect spot for the All-Star race. I mean, I know the fans up there have been so pumped for us to go back there. And honestly, that area and that racetrack deserve it. They deserve for a cup race to go back there and an All-Star race to happen, a huge event. So I can't wait for next weekend.
Who won the All-Star race last year?
Yeah, I can remember that one really well because it was the only thing I've won in a while. So it'd be nice to make it 2 in a row.
I got to tell you, though, just going up there a couple weeks ago for a tire test, I'm pumped. Marcus Smith said it. He wants people to have fun. And the amenities, all the things they've improved for the fans to come have a great time, first class. The track, the same pavement's been there since the 80s, and that's what's going to make it so much fun.
It really does kind of remind you of what Fox did with the All-Star game last year in Major League Baseball, Field of Dreams. It's got that similar feel, and we look forward to the All-Star race 1 week from tomorrow, live on FS1. Go watch some videos on YouTube of North Wilkesboro back in the 80s and 90s, and you'll probably see this paint scheme pop up.
There it is. Tim Richmond driving for Rick Hendrick. He was a hard charger. What a great talent he was, and so much fun to hang around with.
Fun fact about North Wilkesboro, I ran a late model race there, like I said earlier, in 09 or 2010. Chase Elliott ended up winning it. And they told him never come back to that series again with that race car. I remember that very vividly. Chase won. He didn't run this past series very often, and he came in and waxed all of us. And they told him, don't you ever come back to our series with what you got in that race car. And Bill was livid.
The late model sanctioning body didn't take it back to the R&D center and penalize it. They said, just don't bring that back. Let's hear from some drivers here in the Xfinity series about throwing it back.
Favorite paint scheme was Jimmy Johnson's load scheme when it had the neon 48. I feel like I'm driving my childhood favorite car.
Dale Jr.'s Gray Ghost scheme. It was really cool. The Jeff Gordon 24 DuPont Rainbow Warriors, that's just the first one that comes to mind, my first favorite, I feel like. My favorite paint scheme had to have been one of my dad's, the Bell South car that he drove, a lot of bright colors.
That Bell South car brings back a lot of memories, especially on qualifying day. I feel like that's when Joe was so good each and every week in qualifying. There's another throwback to Kevin Harvick, the 43 of Ryan Ellis this weekend.
I think that throwback's from like 1982 that Kevin was driving.
Yeah. he was a veteran at that point, wasn't he?
He's not going to let you in line tomorrow. You know that, right?
I got to get all my shots in while I can.
Sam Mayer on the front row with Kyle Larson as we look forward to the restart.
Beat him with better tires at the end of it is that's pretty hard to say, but that's really our only shot.
To beat Kyle with better tires at the end, is that what you're saying?
The problem of it is if he's saving, if Sam's saving, he's going to be saving as well. It's too smart.
I agree.
There's the Sam throwback to Kurt Busch, who did a great job last Sunday in the booth on FS1 from Kansas.
There's old Kenny Wallace outside of Kurt Busch.
That's a great throwback scheme for somebody to run, huh?
Crowd rises to their feet. I love looking over at the fans. They get really excited when these guys fire them up, head down to turn one. Look at them cheering their favorite on.
Definitely a better restart by Larson this time. The one isn't as far up beside him. The 00 is going to pounce on this, try to get to second.
21. Austin Hill trying to work his way to the outside. A pole sitter, John Hunter Nemechek, and boy, Sam Mayer had a handful, didn't he? Sheldon Creed, that's the seldom 3-for-1 if he can finish the deal. Sliding up. Oh, is there room? There goes the two.
Easy with it. Come on.
Simultaneous spins for teammates Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed, and we have our 6th caution of the afternoon. And boy, I'll tell you, most of these guys are going to drive away. But momentarily, it looked like a parking lot developing in turn 4.
Looked like something you see at Talladega, just cars spinning everywhere. And it all started with a bold move into turn 3 that he just couldn't hold down. Counting over 10, 12 cars involved, Adam?
Yeah, and it was hard to tell the extent of the damage because a lot of drivers didn't really hit hard, but the two banged up big time.
Yeah, that's big damage. I mean, not only obviously the hood's up, but there's massive damage on the 16. The whole left side door is ripped off, left front fender.
We might need to call on our friends from Goodyear to analyze this one.
Sheldon Creed just starting to find his rhythm. Made that bold move into turn 3, and then things really started to get away from everybody.
Yeah, you know, where it starts is the 2 gets single file in 1 and 2, so he's able to collect this massive run. When the 1 gets loose here, it causes the 20 and the 21 to check up a little bit, and the 2 just has a massive run, and his plan is to clear all these cars, right? So he's way on the apron trying to slide up, and now he's kind of, right, he's trying to gather it back up. The 21 tries to shoot inside the 1, and they both spin at the same time, and just nowhere for anyone else to go. And a lot of cars got tore up there in that. I see the 11 got tore up a little bit too.
Did you see the job that Sam Mayer did? He was right in the middle of it. Watch the 1 car up top. The job that he does. Pauses, tries to go low. That doesn't work. Oh, scrapes by on the high side.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I would give that at least 50-50 lucky versus good for Sam Mayer.
You know what? You just have to pause and, you know, try to figure out what's going to happen. Don't make a crazy move, and that's what Sam did.
Keep an eye here, too, on Ross Chastain, who drives way down to the low side in the 91. Not sure this replay angle will show it.
Yeah, so, you know, I think the 1 came down a little bit on the 21, and that's because he thought that the 20 and the 2 were going to go in the fence. So he was trying to get under them, and the 21 just didn't know he was kind of angling down, and they touched. So I think that's how that one started.
Let's get our Bennett Transportation onboard camera look from Austin Hill.
We're clear up right here, clear up, clear up. 2 to the 91, just right your right rear. 91's going to dive inside quarter, you'll have the mow on exit. Keep coming here, keep coming top, check up, check up, check up, check up, check up, check.
So Allgaier got clean. He got through there pretty clean.
Toyota on board. This is Corey Hahn.
Wheel hopping and everything, and got through there pretty good, I think.
And we talked about the woes for Josh Berry, but Berry right in front of him, able to woe it down and get through.
The 19 got tore up in that too, I just saw.
Looks like, does Carson Hocevar sneak through? He does, without any damage on that 77.
And 19 got tore up. That's a shame. You know, he had a pretty good car, and obviously riding high after Dover, and he's going to have, oof, that's a lot of damage on the right front.
There goes the door and the protective foam.
Just dismantled the left side of that car with Chandler Smith.
This has been a heck of a day, hasn't it?
We've gotten some action here on these restarts.
And that's why this one is so big. It's opening lap of the restart. Everybody's all bunched up, and there's just nowhere to go, right?
You know, it's the craziest thing. On TV, the track looks so wide because there's so much pavement, but there's only like 2.5 lanes of actual banked pavement. Maybe 3. The below the dotted line is less banking, but you can still run down there. But it's not nearly as wide as it looks on TV. And I'll tell you firsthand from driving on it, when things close up, it closes up really quick, and it's hard to avoid anything like we just saw, and it's easy to get collected.
The damage for Ryan Truex. He's coming off his first career victory at Dover a couple of weeks ago, and today making what is his final start, at least scheduled, in the 19. Caution number 6. Could it be the big one at Darlington? You decide. Here's what happened in turn 4.
sixth time at Darlington Raceway. A lot of cars swept up in this. Take another look. This is going back to the restart. I'm sitting there in the one on the bottom of the racetrack. Really doesn't have the greatest of restarts. He loses the top spot to Kyle Larson. He loses second. He gets loose off of turn number 2. And then the stack up kind of begins. Sheldon Creed pulls out 3 wide to the bottom. Onside move going into turn number 3.
NASCAR Xfinity Series racing at Darlington. It's the Shriners Children's 200. Under caution for the 6th time, a 15-car crash in turn 4. Sheldon Creed, a contender involved. Chandler Smith had speed. He's crashed. So is the 19. They had actually done a really good job, we thought, of taping up the hood of the 2, but it's now gone. And there is the list of drivers that got some damage in this crash at lap 67. See what Austin Hill said about the incident.
Yeah, I mean, like what happened there? The one was like waving off. Then he got in the corner and he like throttled up, and I guess I just got too close to his door and it just sucked me around. I don't know. I mean, there's been so much debris out here trying to get you pit road. I haven't looked at the screen yet to see what actually happened.
Yeah, when you're in the race car, Ryan, you know, you're trying to figure out what happened. It just doesn't always look to you like it does to us on the TV cameras.
Yeah, you know, and it's so hard to see everything developing in front of you and around you, and then once it happens in the race car. It happens so fast, you just don't know, you know, exactly how it developed. So I would say the 2 is hanging on right here. You know, I mean, he didn't clear those guys he wanted to. He's loose. He's sliding up the racetrack, runs out of room, 20 bangs off the wall. He spins, and it just causes a big chain reaction. Brandon Jones, we haven't said that. He got big damage in that deal.
And you said it, Ryan. When it looked like Sam Mayer saw they were going to wreck ahead of him, he tried to go low, and that's where Hill was, and that just simply turned Hill around and caused that massive pileup. Sam was doing just what he needed to do. Watch this. See him come down right there trying to avoid those cars ahead of him, but it redirected Mayer up above the crash and put Austin Hill in it.
Yeah, and nothing on the one side at all. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong there. He's just, you know, seeing what's happening in front of him and trying to get around. He thought those 2 guys were going to bang off the fence, and he was able to get bottom of 3. And like I said, nothing he did wrong. It's just one of those chain of events, you know, causes bigger chain of events.
So you get 6 minutes to do your damage repair in the Xfinity Series. Then you have to meet minimum speed once we go back green. If you can do that, you stay in the game. If not, you're done for the day. And I'm sure there will be a few cars that head to the garage and call it an afternoon after that big crash and all the damage that followed. Hey, this is just 200 miles today. We get 400 tomorrow, which feels like an eternity if you're a driver. It's the Goodyear 400. Throwback weekend continues. The Cup Series hits the track here in South Carolina. Pre-race coverage on FS1 1:30. We're green just after 3. A host of guest analysts in the booth tomorrow with Mike Joy and Clint Boyer, including Richard, Kyle Petty. Carl Edwards going to be here, Bill Elliott. And the racing is always fun for us to watch, and I know you guys enjoy it behind the wheel, Ryan.
Yeah, you know, you said 400 miles long. Gosh, that's short compared to the 500.
Yeah.
So, nice race for us tomorrow. You know, it's always cool to come here. I love we come here twice a year and, you know, put on a little bit shorter race here in the spring, which is good, you know, and save the 500 because it's a special race and it should be that.
This car's remained pretty clean after going to the back and racing to the front.
Allgaier 7th right now.
He's definitely not trying out for the basketball team.
I can't try out for basketball? Oh, man. What am I going to do now? Oh, that was my retirement plan. The funny part is Bugsy Bogues was still like 2 inches taller than me. And everybody always talks about, like, you know, how he made such a career out of being the smallest guy on the court. But I think they would laugh a little bit if I ever tried out. I think the shorts would probably be all the way to my ankles. I don't know that they'd make them short enough for me.
It's nice when you don't crash and you can ride around under the caution and have a good time.
Yeah, it's always good. And you know, there's a lot of other sports out there that he might be able to do other than basketball. He's doing one that he can do very well.
Coleman?
Yeah, and I don't know how good of a basketball player Justin Allgaier is, but one thing that we've seen that he has done good today is run the low line in 3 and 4. Now that he's back from his penalty, he's going to be able to showcase that a little bit. I look at him kind of be the guy to go after Kyle Larson here on the long run now that we have some open track.
Yeah, you know, and we really haven't seen, we haven't had any runs, you know, in this second stage to see what changes the teams have made to their cars, what the drivers have asked for. Have they applied, you know, and has their cars gotten better? We don't really know. We don't really know where anyone stacks up. So I'll be curious to see if we can get some green flag racing, even though it's only going to be 15 to go in the stage. You know, you'll get an idea of did you make your car better or not, or what you still have to work on.
Yeah, and you know, I'm just really interested in this Cole Custer Ford, the guy we're on board with right here, because he has just come forward all day long. Now that he's there, does he have anything for Larson?
And look at some of the other drivers in the top 10. We talk about Allgaier and how he's been beaten up today. Barry's there, Ryan Sieg, Corey Heim, and Carson Hocevar in the top 5. Front row is going to be Larson and Nemechek.
There you see Larson cheating down, like Ryan pointed out. That's just a smart way to try to get an advantage on the restart, but John Hunter does a nice job.
Custer's going to try to fill that top. Give Sam Mayer a big run. Custer had to check up a little bit. All right. Mayer's going to try to go for second.
We watched this a minute ago. It didn't work, so Mayer thinks better of it.
Mayer's been very aggressive early in this race. Sliding up here in front of Hocevar, lost some momentum. 77 crossover coming to the inside as Nemechek and Custer battled for second.
Hocevar's flexing his muscle, man. I mean, we
so
just talked about it. He's done a really good job all day and stayed out of trouble and is running 5th and only his, what do you say, second Xfinity start?
Second start.
It's really good. These things drive a lot different than trucks, so he's been doing a good job of adjusting.
And his first start was kind of a last-minute deal at COTA, and he didn't get many laps because they had a transmission problem early in the race. So really, this is his first true opportunity to go out and see what he can do in one of these cars, and he is delivering.
This is a huge confidence builder for a kid like that. Done so well in the trucks and then gets into the Xfinity car and has speed again. This is how you make it to Cup. You take advantage of every opportunity you get. Got that big win at Texas in the truck, long awaited. And now he's running with Justin Allgaier. This has got to be just so good for that driver and the whole team.
And you saw Allgaier running the bottom there. Coleman touched on it during the caution. You know, Allgaier's, he's just been able to always make that low line work in 3 and 4. He's a guy that kind of stands out to me who can make the bottom work and just kind of creep around there when everyone's trying to run the fence and run hard and can slip up. He just does a good job. Who split the seam right there. The apron kind of helps him turn a little bit, and he's able to drive off, you know, pretty straight. And he's done a good job of trying to figure that out. And honestly, that will get a little bit better, believe it or not, as the run goes on. If no one's running down there, you know, it's not over rubbering. He has usually clean air when he can run down there because no one does it. So that just kind of feeds into his favor.
Do you think it's easier on the tires to go down there to do that, or is it harder on them?
I kind of have mixed opinions on that. You know, I mean, if he's doing it right, like I think Justin's doing, you know, of being very disciplined, I think it can be easier.
Caution is out again.
I'd say a piece of tape or something.
That's what I was going to say. Got to be debris after the crash, the repairs, and all those vehicles out there trying to beat minimum speed that were banged up in that big crash off of turn 4 moments ago. It comes out with 10 laps to go in the stage, and you know, this is where you start asking that question again. Do you pit?
Don't ask us.
You know what I'm going to say? Let's wait and see what everybody does once pit road opens.
Don't ask us, please.
We all three had an opinion the last time, and we were 0 for 3, I believe. So this is the reason for the caution. Ryan Ellis in the 43.
Tough race for Ryan.
Looks like he's got a flat. Yeah.
As a result,
3 has a flat. Yeah. You know, we saw that with the 98 car earlier. Has a tire rub. It'll run a couple laps, and then it just eventually cuts that tire down.
Sage Karam gets the free pass. He's done that now on 2 straight cautions. He goes from 2 laps down to back on the lead lap. 32 cars on the lead lap. Regan. Excuse me, Josh.
Yeah, here with Chandler Smith, checked and released from the Care Center. What happened from your perspective there?
I was just up on the fence, ripping the fence. Everybody was kind of running the middle to bottom, and I was actually generating a pretty big run. I guess they were all swamped on top of each other. They started wrecking, and there was a clear hole for a split second. And ironically, right when I got to that hole, it closed up. So, yeah, it sucks. We were having an uphill battle today with our number 16 quick type product Chevy Camaro. Felt like we were making good adjustments to make it a little bit better. but we honestly didn't. We kept having cautions on cautions on cautions, so don't even know if the adjustment we made was going to make it better or not. So sucks for my guys. They've been working way too hard to having second DNF this year, and you know, I'm ready to move on to Wilkesboro and head on over to Charlotte and get back in the Xfinity car too.
Thanks, Chandler.
Good news for him. He won earlier this year. Locked into the playoffs. You never want to have a day like this where you record a DNF, as he said, his second of the year. But when you've won and you're locked into the playoffs, that helps ease the pain, I'm guessing, huh? Maybe not immediately, but later on in the week.
He's heading over to the Wilkesboro to run the All-Star Open.
Yes.
Try to get into the big show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
A third car for Colleague.
Join Brian in the big show.
So the pits are open. You know, I try not to be wrong twice. I don't think anyone's going to come here. I think there's too many laps to go.
I think
maybe to come down and pit.
Some of the back markers, some of the guys outside the top 10 pit. There's our first taker.
Hocevar not running for points, right? So this is an opportunity for them to come down and roll the dice.
He needs people to come with him.
It's that lonely feeling when you come down pit road and nobody's behind you. He was running 6th, Regan.
Well, and Adam, they made that decision pretty early with that 77 car of Carson Hocevar to go ahead and pit. They said, let's flip the stage right here. It'll be a few more laps than we might want. Look for maybe to be a little bit gentle on it once we get going back in green flag racing. The car overall pretty good for him. He said, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not really loose or tight anywhere, so not any changes for him. They have been keeping an eye on the right side of that car. Got a hole on it from some damage that they've been keeping an eye on.
There were a few other cars that came down here under caution, among them the 11 of Daniel Hemrick. Let's go back to the Care Center and Josh.
Brandon Jones checked and released from the Care Center. Brandon, what happened there from your perspective?
Yeah, man, gosh, I hate it. You know, we had a lot of guests from Cheez-Its and Kellogg's here this weekend and watching us try to go for a win here. I think that, you know, our season is certainly turning around here. We had a lot of speed today in our Camaro. And, you know, from my perspective, a lot of them just like this, washed up right here in the middle of the corner. Really, all I saw was Sheldon starting to come down the hill. And, man, like I didn't really know if I could have done much differently. I thought after the fact I could have downshifted to third and maybe got the car slowed down and gave it some more turn, but like you're on the flat right there, you know, you have no banking at all to help the car turn, so you're really just kind of in a box in a difficult scenario and thinking just wrong place, wrong time really scenario. But looking forward to continuing with these guys, man. We're getting a lot better, I think, as a group, as a whole. Had speed all day to stay in the top 10 and even I think at times to get to the top 5. We just needed some green flag runs. I think that's where we were really fast, you know, is you know, kind of deep into the runs. I saw guys really slipping and sliding. We actually had a lot of rear grip to be able to contend there. So had fun leading up to it, man. I think it's just part of it. We'll get back at it here. We'll keep working and go to the next one.
Thanks, Brendan.
15 cars in that crash. Biggest crash in the Xfinity Series since 2019. We're looking at the Choose here. Aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear, powering every lap, every mile, and every victory on the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven.
And Larson took the bottom this time. So, you know, he's playing around with lanes and maybe he thinks there's enough laps on his tires to where the bottom is the safer route and he can get a better launch. So I'm sure Kyle, that's going through his head is, hey, my car has a lot of laps on my tires. You know, maybe the last restart I struggled a little bit more than I wanted to on my launch. So let me try the bottom lane out and see if this is any different so I can utilize that in the third stage if he's in this position again.
Learning every lap, right? You got to think about future scenarios. As you see Sammy Smith there in that 18, he's rallied back into contention after those problems early. Got a really fast Toyota.
I'd never write him off. You know what? Going to be 6 laps to go. Stage 2. A long stage 2 today at Darlington. And you look just below the lap count up there in our pylon at our progress bar. A lot of yellow, not as much green as we'd like to see. And going to be a short little run here to finish things out in this second stage. See what Larson can do from that inside lane. Pretty good launch.
Got a big push from John Hunter. Oh, there's trouble.
There goes Ty Dillon. Hangs on to it. No caution yet. Battle for the lead. John Hunter Nemechek trying the inside of Kyle Larson.
Ty Dillon kept going. I don't think we're going to have a caution.
Go 3 to wall. Top is clear if you get there.
Outside lane, wins out, 5 to go, stage 2.
Got Allgaier up to P4.
And he is fast
Yeah.
on that low line like
Really-
you talked about. So good down there.
Yeah, really putting pressure on Custer. I'm sure he's going to go to the bottom here. Custer, a little bit of traffic in front of him. Gives Justin all the air.
Just a report on Carson Hocevar. We saw him pit. He's running about a half a lap behind already. He's just easing around on those tires, trying to keep them as fresh as he can, so when he gains his track position, he can hopefully keep it.
He'll stay out undoubtedly, as we've talked about, at the end of the stage when everyone else pits. As Michael said, wants to take care of those tires. Jeb Burton in the 27.
Whoa.
Into Anthony Alfredo.
What we had there was a failure to communicate. I don't think he knew he was there.
For third, Allgaier dipping to the inside of Cole Custer. Right behind him, teammate Sam Mayer.
That is so hard to do, get down on the bottom and make that move. And look how low he got.
Yeah, you see him. I mean, you know, they talked earlier in the race, some spotters did about, I think it was Sammy Smith's spotter, like, hey, you got to get some room to your right entering one, and Justin did that perfectly. Went like 2 lanes below and just sailed it off in there, was able to clear up in front of the 00.
You mentioned Sammy Smith. He's back in the top 10. So is Austin Hill. Involved in that crash. Comes into point leader. You want to get some stage points. He's in position to do it as Mayer gets tight with Cole Custer. 2 to go in the stage.
Wonder how Cole will take that. It was pretty much a body slam, wasn't it?
The one didn't leave him much room right there. You saw him. He didn't go as low as Justin in trying to clear the 00, and 00 was able to stay there, but the one kind of, you know, he forced him to lift. He put him in a tight spot.
Mayer's had a great day, leading 35 laps. Second on the board in that category to Kyle Larson, who won the opening stage, led 46 laps so far today, and 1 lap away from getting the sweep, but Nemechek is right there.
20's been able to put some pressure on Kyle here. Honestly, I didn't really see this happening. I thought the 10 car was super good. The 20's going to get a run to the inside.
And look right in the 20's tire tracks. Here comes Allgaier.
This is so big when you talk about the championship chase. Those stage points and a playoff point. John Hunter Nemechek. Final lap pass of Kyle Larson in the stage. Can he hang on?
He's going to get him.
Photo finish to end stage 2. Give it to John Hunter Nemechek. Man, that was a great rally and so big when you talk about his day. Not just points, but now he takes control of the race.
That was great racing. Look how close.
Blaney very confidently said, a couple of 100 yards from the start-finish line, he got him. I'm like, I don't feel quite that good about it.
As soon as I said that, I was like, oh, I need to eat my words here real fast.
I was flashing back to the pit strategy at the end of stage 1, you know? Long stage 2. So many cautions, but it ends with a photo finish. John Hunter Nemechek able to get there. His 4th stage win of the season. And he gets by one of the best to do it, outlasting Kyle Larson by that much.
John Hunter Nemechek, already a 2-time winner so far in 2023. He's got race wins at the Auto Club Speedway, and he won at Martinsville Speedway last month. He, again, is your stage 2 winner. Kyle Larson was second, Justin Allgaier Custer were the top 5 at the end of the second stage. Here on lap 92, pit road is closed. We'll see the leaders on pit road when it opens under the 8th caution flag of the day. So pit road is open this time around. So we expect pit stops for these leaders. Again, John Hunter Nemechek in that white and blue number 20.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by the Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express Card, and by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Caution ending stage 2, our 8th of the day. Leaders on pit road. Josh?
Stage 2 winner, John Hunter Nemechek. Mostly happy with that car. Said those last adjustments really help. He still wants to fire off just a tick tighter. As far as the 10 of Kyle Larson, said he was getting way too loose towards the end of that run. They're going to make an air pressure and a track bar adjustment. Regan.
The 7 Justin Allgaier needs just a little bit more turn through the corners. Right now that car is great on old tires. He's raving about that. Said it cycles well. That means every time that we have a caution and a green flag in the 00 Cole Custer, he can't get the car to turn, and the back of the race car is unhooked, meaning it's sliding around on the track.
And now the race off pit road. Now keep in mind, there were some drivers that have already made a pit stop that stay out here flipping the stage. We'll get to that in just a second. Top 3 came off as they entered, +2 for Austin Hill, who had a nice rally to end that second stage. Let's visit with John Hunter Nemechek. 4 stage wins this year, Michael.
Hey, John Hunter, it's Walter, Blaney, and the boys in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got you, Mikey.
Well, that was an awesome, thrilling stage win, photo finish. Great job. How does the car balance out, and how are you going to take down Kyle Larson for the checkered?
Yeah, thank you. Good move, I felt like, and Kyle, I feel like, has had the best car on the long run all day. I feel like we've been a little bit better on the short run, so made some adjustments there to try and make the long run better, to try and run with him, and hopefully we can go out here and outduel him head-to-head. Get this Spy Barker Fire safety Toyota GR Supra back in victory lane and burn it down. The boys have provided this thing as fast as Xfinity 10G, so ready to go see what we got here in stage 3, and hopefully we can run green.
Thanks for your time, bud. Great job. Looking forward to the rest of it.
Thank you, Mikey.
And there's more good news. The 10 of Kyle Larson speeding.
No way.
So he's going to have to come from the back. Nemechek will have to deal with him, just not in the short term. I'm sure he'll be there at the end. Nemechek, the man right now at Darlington.
Those 3 drivers will be in action in the Cup Series race tomorrow, the Goodyear 400. So those fans will have an opportunity to watch their favorite driver compete for the race win here at Darlington Raceway. Just a reminder, you can celebrate NASCAR Throwback Weekend in your best throwback-inspired fit. Cole Custer and Honda Smith will be hosting a competition there in the NASCAR cam here at Darlington Raceway. Scan the QR code on NASCAR TV for your chance to be featured on our big screen.
Off we go in South Carolina. Sock hopping through a Saturday afternoon here at Darlington with the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox. Here's the stage point breakdown. Best of the bunch, John Hunter Nemechek, who gets it in stage 2. The fans can't even hear our music, and yet they're playing along and dancing.
That's feel-good music right there. The Temptations.
I think they saw you dancing in the booth, Adam.
Probably,
and
yeah.
they're trying to recreate it.
I don't know what music she's listening to, but I'll have whatever she's drinking. You know what I mean? She's feeling good this afternoon.
I'm feeling good about this race. We've seen a little bit of everything, including a 15-car pileup and a photo finish for that stage win.
And it's going to be incredibly exciting watching Kyle Larson come through the field after his speeding penalty.
Carson Hocevar stayed out at the end of the stage. He'll be the leader on some older tires. I'm anxious to see how this plays out for the 77. What have you got for us here, Coleman?
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting choose. We've seen Carson Hocevar really take it easy on his tires, but it's still not going to amount to what these stickers are. Regardless of what lane he has, it's going to be tough for him to keep the lead going into turn 1. The big picture comes in. You got the 20 and the 7 that are probably the 2 favorites for the race win right here. They're most likely going to choose right behind each other, which isn't going to give them the opportunity to pass each other on the restart. It's going to have to play out once it goes green. So it's going to be interesting how quick the 20 can get the lead and then how quick the 7 can get cleared and start putting pressure to try to get track position.
The other thought, final stage, how quickly can the 10 car of Kyle Larson get to the front, starting at the rear after speeding on that last cycle of stops?
Here comes the choose.
Like Cliff would tell you, we ain't pushing, we ain't racing, man. Have fun. You'll put on a show for him, dude. He'd actually yell at me right now. Yeah, I know, but I was trying to be a little more. I know he's probably listening, so I wanted him to good and Chris still talk good about him. I'm good. I'm joking with you too, Cliff. You are listening.
You know, it's going to be tough for him to get back to the lead. You know, I mean, he's restarting 30th. There's only going to be 49 laps to go. I mean, Kyle Larson is really, really good, but that's just, if it goes green, that's not a lot of time for him to get back up there. So he's going to need a caution or two, I feel like, to reset and give him, you know, pick off cars, pit, track position, and try to do the same thing again. It's just going to be really tough to get back there with this little laps to go.
I think from what I've seen so far, we're going to see some of those cautions you talked about.
Yeah.
And I think he gets there.
And I'll say this, only one time has a Cup regular won this year in the Xfinity Series. A.J. Allmendinger in the 10-car Circuit of the Americas when he had a host of problems. Battled through that, came back, won the race. So maybe the script has been written.
He's been mad as heck all day long. Pulling it together right now, though. Been in a crash and riding in the top 5. Austin Hill could be a guy you got to watch.
Nemechek inside of Hocevar. Keep an eye on Custer, too. Outside lane behind Hocevar on those older tires.
This is going to be fun.
Honestly, not a bad restart for Hocevar on older stuff in the top lane. He did a pretty good job of accelerating.
Well, he's just happy to have a bit of a gap from the big. I mean, it's streamed there, but he's got a bit of a gap.
Third, so he's done a good job on the restart through 1 and 2.
I know you'll find this hard to believe. Sam Mayer out of line again.
That's the best set of older tires you could have, what Carson has. He really rode around slowly those 7 laps he had them on.
For a 20-year-old, he has shown a lot of maturity here today.
Ryan Sieg coming in the picture. We haven't really talked about Ryan all day, but he's peaking at Mayer for 5th. He's put a solid day together in 6th.
And from a stat perspective, really good racetrack for him. Kaz Gralla up to 9th. Haven't said his name today, but putting a good run together for Sam Hunt Racing, who was so successful last year with John Hunter Nemechek leading this race today for Joe Gibbs Racing. This is from 10th on back. Barry in the 8, Kligerman there in the 48, Jeremy Clements in that mix, as well as the 24 of Corey Heim, 13th, making his 2nd career start this afternoon.
There you see Parker Kligerman with issues earlier. Got some tape on his left rear, but doing a nice job. There's Austin Hill we talked about.
Sammy Smith right behind him. We saw Sammy had probably the worst start of the day that you could have, and they've done a good job of just staying in the game and running 8th.
Don't you love it when kids like that make mistakes, but they're able to keep their car together and learn from them and go out and perform? These are great lessons for kids to make.
Yeah.
Going to be 45 laps to go this time by. So to add a little perspective to that, stage 1, stage 2 today, 45 laps. So we've kind of flipped to the back end of the race, and now you start managing those tires, and most everyone has 2 sets of tires left here to use throughout the afternoon, depending on, as we said, how those cautions fall. Custer by to 3rd, Hocevar 4th, and Sam Mayer knocking on his door.
Sam runs a little bit higher than most people into turn 3, as you see there. And right out next to that wall. Looks like a good run there off the turn, but not quite enough. Parker Retzlaff, we saw him have problems earlier. Josh Williams there battling.
Nemechek leading this race. He's led 15 laps today, won stage 2. We check out our Toyota top performers. Good comeback for Sammy Smith, as we've talked about. Just popped Kaz Grala and Corey Heim, the teammates at Sam Hunt Racing. Nice time to go to our Toyota onboard camera, see what this place is all about, riding the wall. Mayer to 4th.
This is good management, though, of those older tires for Hocevar, just not to lose a ton of ground right off the bat. It'll all stabilize for him, I believe.
Yeah, and he's got, 15 car lengths or so to the 39 behind him. So this is a good spot for him to kind of ride. As we see the 10 of Kyle Larson. He's up to 17th. I'm trying to get more spots here. He's slicing and dicing through the field right now. But, he's 9 seconds behind the leader. So I think he could have a shot at it if we get a caution here in about 10 laps and be able to reset as he races real hard in turn 1.
Yeah, contact with Joe Graff Jr. as he tries to get the 16th position. Next up, he'll see his teammate Daniel Hemrick in 15th, Coleman.
Yeah, and if we go back towards the front, we're going to see a 3-horse race for the win here. One thing about Justin Allgaier, where he's at, he can kind of set the tone of this cat and mouse game. He can kind of pressure John Hunter to try to force him to use his tires a little bit more. John Hunter's just got to be really cautious about managing his lap time as this run goes on. As this race goes on, it's so hard to pass right now. You're trying to set yourself up for the last 5 to 10 laps of this race if you're Justin Allgaier.
I'm going to be interested to see how that line he was running earlier down low, why has he drifted up high? What's different now? You can see he's a little bit lower, but higher than the other competitors on entry there.
Yeah, I think he was losing a little time to the 20 when he was wrapping the bottom the whole way through the corner. So I feel like he was like, okay, I need to try to move up to the wall, but still angle down on exit. So I feel like that was it. He just thought he was losing some time and wanted to change his lineup a little bit.
40 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Darlington. It's the Shriners Children's 200. We're going side by side on Fox with Nemechek out front. Michael Waltrip, Ryan Blaney. I'm Adam Alexander. John Hunter Nemechek in control of this race. Won the second stage in a photo finish over Kyle Larson. And looking for his third win of the season. Meanwhile, behind him, Justin Allgaier leads the charge for Junior Motorsports. You see the running order bottom left of your screen where those JRM Chevys are today. Brandon Jones out. He was caught up in that big crash at lap 67. Sam Mayer in the top 5 having a good day. Josh Berry has fought a lot of adversity, is 10th. Of course, Junior Motorsports still looking for their first win of 2023, and if they win today, it would be 5 in a row at Darlington. They've swept here the last 2 years.
There's Josh Berry. You talked about the issues he's had. Just really loose all day long, they say. The report from the team. Racing with Kaz Grolick. Kaz doing a nice job.
So is Kyle Larson. I mean, what a comeback, huh? We had him unofficially 30th at the restart. He drops to the rear. You don't know with the choose and all of that, how it's going to go.
Yeah, he's going to go 2 for 1 here.
But plus 20 is pretty good. Barry nearly lost it in front of Larson.
Did I mention he's loose today?
All over the place.
Yeah, so check out this line Larson's running. He enters right at the fence, and then he turns down off of it, try to get some clean air, all the way down to below the yellow line. You know, and that apron has a little bit of banking to it, not a lot, but that's something he does good. A lot of guys will kind of ride the radius of the wall, and you see how high he enters into 1. It just gives him tons of momentum. Yeah, he's just going to turn left and put him in a bad spot and drive right by him. He makes it look really easy. I guarantee you it is not that easy.
And you know.
Yes.
I mean,
maybe
you know.
to him it's easy. Oh, the one's off the pace.
Problems for Sam Mayer off the pace, Josh.
Yeah, Sam Mayer having an issue. They got damaged. They got a hole in the nose, and now they got a flat tire, so they have to come in and get all that fixed, guys.
Came in 9 points above the cut line. Did get stage points today, which is huge. But gives up a spot inside the top 5. Unscheduled pit stop with 30 laps to go.
Well, in 4th, you know, we just got talking about how Junior Motorsports has been really good here over the last 4 years, 4 races, and it was a shame. He had a good run going today too.
Riding high, and it just jumps the cushion there a bit. Wasn't going low before that, you think, Ryan?
I think he had a flat before that.
Yeah.
How it just went straight on him. He did a good job. I don't think it's completely flat. It's probably on the inner liner, but he did a good job of making sure it didn't hit the fence really at all.
Give you a Kyle Larson update as he drives by Ryan Sieg. He's up to the 7th spot, and last time by he was 3/10 faster than our leader, so we might hear more from Mr. Larson before this is over.
And when you look at some of the vehicles he'll see soon on track, let's give a call to Carson Hocevar. He's 5th and just doing a great job of hanging on to that car with those older tires. Not a lot older since the restart, but doing a positive job. And Austin Hill right in front of him. We're on board with a 21 here. Now they're down a set of tires, but the longer we go green, the better it is for them to help equal things out. They were involved in that crash. They pitted. They rallied to get stage points in stage 2. And the guy that was leading the points coming in is managing to pull away with a very solid performance here at Darlington as Cole Custer heats up Justin Allgaier for the runner-up position.
You see Cole has the high entry into 1 going too. You see Justin enter really low, and Cole's got the high entry like we see Larson doing. And he does a good job here. We talked before the race how he's always been strong here, and he's put a lot of pressure on the 7 here. He's a good bit faster. He just can't find a way by him right now.
.27 laps to go in the midst of our longest green flag run of the day. Nemechek, Allgaier, Custer, Hill, Hocevar. We're going side by side on Fox. You know what I love about a little Fox side-by-side? You miss absolutely nothing. Caution for debris, 9th yellow of the afternoon for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And the plot has thickened because John Hunter Nemechek was feeling really good, 22 laps to go. Now they have to execute on pit road, manage a restart, and Kyle Larson from 30th to 6th right back in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he needed, right? He wasn't going to get there without a caution, you know, and now he got it, you know, from cars who have damage and debris comes off the car, boom, you're right back in the game. So those guys can reset, you know, and now go for this win.
That's about a perfect time for a caution for Kyle Larson as well. Get those tires, fast car, plenty of time to get there. 21 laps to go.
Sheldon Creed had just gone a lap down. He gets the free pass. He's 25th. Kyle Sieg punting the debris that we believe came off the 31 of Parker Retzlaff. John Hunter Nemechek had a 3-second lead when the caution came out. It's gone, and now the pressure on a pit crews.
This is what y'all call the money stop. Got to get it done here with no mistakes.
And we've said this a couple of times, but most everyone has 2 sets of tires left. So you pit here, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We get another caution in 10 laps and they're right back on pit road. Austin Hill does not want to see that because he's pitted more than everyone else on the lead lap. He's only got 1 set of tires left based on our math. So he says, let's pit here, keep me in the top 5, and go green to the end. Anyway. Pit road closed this time around. We'll make another lap. That gives us an opportunity to remind you what a hot streak it's been recently for Joe Gibbs Racing, not just in Xfinity, but at the Cup level as well. They hit the magical number 400 when Denny Hamlin won Sunday at Kansas, closing on the milestone 200 in the Xfinity Series. They're at 197. In the last 5 weeks, they've got 5 wins in Cup and Xfinity by 5 different drivers. And I hate to say this with Ryan in the booth, but you got to make a case for him here tomorrow. Always strong at Darlington, Martin Truex Jr. will lead him to the green in the Goodyear 400.
And Ryan didn't comment.
He did. He did.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? And I'm like, yeah, they're going to be good. You know? Which they probably are. They're probably, well, they'll definitely be contenders, that's for sure. And they're going to be tough for us to beat tomorrow.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sitting right here.
I'm in the room. We're doing this throwback
look at that. It was 11. Okay, 2011. Gosh, I didn't look very happy.
Yeah.
Must have. I don't know. I don't know if we came in. I don't know why I'm holding the checkered flag.
These pit stops are going to be interesting. Those couple of cars up front, 3 of them that Coleman alluded to, are getting ready to have some company.
Carson Hocevar, this is a break for him too. You know, he gets the bolt on a set of stickers. He did a good job holding on scuffs.
Yeah, if he can stay in the top 5 on a couple lap scuffs, I'm anxious to see what he can do on a level playing field. Pit stops coming, 20 laps to go. Josh, they're heading your way.
And John Hunter Nemechek said he doesn't need any adjustments with that car. Just give him 4 tires and fuel as he looks for his 3rd win of the season. Kyle Larson in the 10. He said it just needs to be tightened up a little bit, so they're going to make an air pressure adjustment.
Well, the 7 of Justin Allgaier, too loose to run the top side of the racetrack right now. When he tried to move up there, crew chief Jim Pullman asking him, do you want me to adjust for that, or are you going to run the bottom here towards the end of the race? They got to figure that out on this stop. And the 00 Cole Custer needs the same change to his race car to help the car turn just a little bit better.
12-7 on the stop for Nemechek. Right around 13, it looked like, for Allgaier. The race off pit road. Nemechek holds serve. Allgaier 2nd. 3rd for Custer.
Oh.
+1 for Austin Hill. Larson picks up a couple of positions. He's 5th prior to the choose. Josh Berry, great stop for the 18. Well executed by the 48 of Parker Kligerman as well. He comes off +5 in 7th, as good as they've been as far as running order today. Carson Hocevar, unfortunately, loses 3 spots. He's shown 9th coming off the pit lane. It's been an interesting day here at Darlington. And if you want the highlights, you go right to stage 2 when things were a bit wild. A handful of cautions. It's Parker Retzlaff making his Darlington debut in the 31.
Sage Karam around on the front straightaway. And then the big one.
I didn't have that one on my bingo card today. 15 cars, biggest crash in the Xfinity Series in 4 years. Ryan Ellis into the wall. And when you have all those cautions and all those cars that have problems, you get some debris. And that's what has created our 9th yellow flag of the afternoon.
She is tough, I'll tell you that.
Xfinity teams off next week. They might need it after today. Next time we see them, Memorial Day weekend at Charlotte. 2 weeks from today. FS1, our drivers only broadcast. Looking forward to that. Ryan, I know you'll be in the booth, part of the fun.
Yep. Yep.
Here's a preview of the coverage we'll have for you FS1 2 weeks from now at CMS.
Wow, we actually made it here again. Drivers only. We'll be calling the race.
Doing this is a whole different game.
We're having fun. I wonder what those guys in the studio are doing.
Hey, you guys don't have any Fox staff bringing you ice cream up there?
Oh, gosh.
Can't wait for it. A couple of weeks' time, FS1, 12:30 Eastern time is when the coverage begins. Race 12, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Drivers only. It's become a part of what we do, and the fans absolutely love it.
Well, we think it's good to give you a week off every now and then. Adam.
Yeah.
So, give you a little break from the grind.
You're
always there to help us out, though.
I'm going to do, I'll be there. I'll be your stage manager. I'm going to do the trucks the night before. It's a triple header weekend, trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So it's not a day off. I got to work with Michael and Phil on Friday night.
That's a day's work.
That was a late decision by the 20 to
Very late.
I mean, he was. I've been in that spot before where you're like, I don't know what to choose here, and you just barely missed the box. So that'll be interesting. I mean, Allgaier chose the front row. He's got Custer behind him. Custer's been pushing really good all day long. So be curious to see how that top row can accelerate.
How much is it up to you to choose, or does the crew and spotter? How does all that work?
100% up to the driver.
Is it?
Especially obviously if you're the leader. If we're back mid-pack, Josh, my spotter, he'll kind of count the cars on the bottom for me, and then I just kind of do math in my head of where I'm running and then where I'd be if I lined up on the bottom or top. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is all driver. We ask opinions. I'll ask Josh, okay, hey, what lane has been better, today from mid-pack or the front? So they give us a lot of information, but at the end of the day, yeah, that's all driver.
I'm glad I wasn't a part of the choose there. if there's math involved, I think I'd have been in trouble. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
It's going to be a heck of a race to the finish.
This restart could very well decide who wins it. Watch Larson coming from row 3 on the outside. Had the speeding penalty, came back to the top 10, gets the caution he needed. Perhaps he could win for the first time at Darlington this afternoon. Restart, 16 laps to go at the track too tough to tame.
Great start by John Hunter.
Yeah. Custer didn't get a great start. That kind of bottled Larson up a little bit as he's trying to get to the top of Kaz Grala. That's going to choke him up just a little bit, but as things singled out, 16 laps is a good run. It's short, but it's still, tires fall off a lot in 16 laps. So there'll be a little bit, not really a lot of tire management. You're going to go as hard as you can and just see how good your car hangs on.
Austin Hill in third.
Wasn't he in a wreck?
He was, a big wreck. I mean, so I thought.
That's awesome management by the team, getting that car back on the road, and Austin keeping in the game.
The way they ended stage 2 is what has put them in this position. Got those tires after the accident, and if we don't get another caution, he's looking at another top 5 finish. It'd be 2 in a row to back up those 3 wins early in the season. This for 4th. Larson diving to the inside of the 00 Cole Custer.
And you said it, Ryan. They've got their tongues hanging out right now. Gas on the floor. All they've got. No tire management here.
Run the fence, pass back.
Yeah, and I mean, and Larson's going to drive as hard as he possibly can. This is going to be a tall order for him to go up here and get the lead. I mean, cars are on new tires. It's harder to pass when cars are on fresh rubber. And I don't think Larson's had the best short run car all day long. I think he's been really good 10 laps or so on into the run. So it's going to be tough for him to get by these guys. And all these guys in front of him, they've been super fast all day long too. So A little harder than coming from 30th, you know, passing guys that maybe don't have the speed.
Yeah, I would say just about everyone he passed to get to this position were drivers you would just expect him to drive by. The ones he's racing now, as you said, have been legit players all afternoon long.
Kind of looking on your quarter here, quarter inside.
Pull a big slider.
He does it.
Boom.
But I'm telling you, John Hunter Nemechek is running the fastest laps of the race right now. He's able to pull out away from Allgaier. Oh, that's a shame.
Ryan Sieg spent a good portion of the afternoon inside the top 10, has got a problem, 12 laps to go.
Looks like the engine might be giving up on that 39.
Made the playoffs last year, but has not been the season Sieg would have wanted. Entered the day below the cut line.
Caution.
Caution, there it is. 10th of the afternoon. Saw Ryan Sieg on track. This is younger brother Kyle, who produces that 10th yellow. Nemechek didn't want to see this with the advantage he had, and 11 laps to go. You're going to be inside of 10. Pit road opens. Got a lot of cars on the lead lap, 28 of them. I'm not sure if you come for that last set of tires here or not.
You're not going to hear anything out of us.
See, crosses the apron there, and that apron below the white hash marks is not new pavement, you know, so that's old pavement. So we used to go down there a lot and dip your left sides or sometimes your whole car down there when it was old asphalt and it was a nice little getaway. Now you go down there to get room, but it's old pavement and it kind of unloads your car. So he just got caught in a weird spot of old asphalt. Cardo's outside, de-wedging the car, and it just went around on him.
Bad couple of laps for the Siegs, huh?
It was.
After a strong day for Ryan and a good day for Kyle. Ryan will come to pit road and see what he can figure out.
I asked Ben Bayshore today down in the garage, how stressful is it when you have to make that late call, tires, no tires, and you're the leader? He said it is the worst. You can see the anxiety, and we do have some takers as pit road is open. Among them, Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek stays out. So does Justin Allgaier and Austin Hill. Pit stops 10 to go. It's setting up to be a great finish here at Darlington.
Cole Custer came to pit road and said, please, more of you people follow me. Let's have a bunch of people behind me so I can have a shot at winning this race.
You know, he was fifth, so he must have not thought, you know, hey, my car isn't good enough to win. And so let's try to take a chance and put some new tires on it. Maybe I'll drag a bunch of guys with me so I can restart, you know, in the low to mid-teens. I don't know if he'll be able to restart that far up, but that's just a call to try to bait people into coming and try to have your only shot to win.
And he did get some takers. There were some cars that came with them.
Toughest thing, as I said a moment ago, is just all those cars on the lead lap. Because we've had so many cautions today, you haven't had a ton of drivers that have gone a lap down. And so with that, the rally becomes more of an uphill climb for guys like Custer and Mayer, Ty Dillon, who made pit stops there. When we're done here in Darlington, the 2023 USFL season continues. It's next on Fox as the Houston Gamblers take on the Birmingham Stallions. Then tomorrow it's the Memphis Showboats getting the New Orleans Breakers, 3 p.m. Eastern time, also on Fox. And it's all streaming on the Fox Sports app. I give to you the USFL standings. We got New Orleans playing at 4-0. Stallions, Birmingham 3-1 on the campaign.
Our buddy Denny Hamlin says he loves the USFL because it's like the NFL, but there's less rules. So you just do whatever you want sometimes.
There's a few times this year when he probably would have said less rules, really good for me, right? What's the name of his podcast again? Action Detrimental.
Oh, Detrimental, that's right. Someone tried to rename it last week. Little fun in the infield. It's Mother's Day weekend. It's cool to see the kids here with their moms and dads enjoying NASCAR. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Look forward to celebrating that tomorrow. On board here with Cole Custer, who cycled through showing 18th prior to the choose. Look at some of the drivers right in front of him. Ones that you feel like he's going to have a big advantage on for the restart. Creed has got a car that is crashed up pretty good. You got Josh Williams, Jeb Burton, Joe Graff Jr. These are drivers that have had a host of issues this afternoon. So he should be able to get through them in fairly short order. After that, it becomes difficult, and we're going to do 8 laps remaining as we get to choose here, so 7 to go once we take the green flag.
Yeah, so does John Hunter Nemechek choose the bottom again? You know, he chose it super late last time. Got a really good jump, so I'll be surprised if he chooses the top.
But that's going to put Larson on row 2.
Yeah.
So wherever John Hunter goes, he's going to look in that mirror and see where Kyle Larson went.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Larson's going to go behind John Hunter.
That's big. If they can get a big jump on the bottom with better traction and Larson can get to second, that's going to be a really, really, good choose for Larson picking the bottom.
Coleman?
I agree with what Ryan just said right there. It's actually really surprising. I really expected the 21 to take with the leader right there. Old tire restart. John Hunter should get cleared pretty early and hopes that it gives the bottom lane clean air. I think there's a good opportunity. Larson gets cleared for second place. That could be a showdown here between them two.
Coleman, would you agree now it's not just a 3-man race? We got to add Kyle to the mix?
This race right here is going to be anyone's. So, there's probably going to be some contact, and it could be 5, 6, 7, 10 guys right here.
Love it.
And watching anxiously, John Hunter's wife, Taylor. And they're expecting their second child. Saw him walking through the garage area today with a stroller, and such a great opportunity to have family time, and they hope to end it with a celebration at Darlington.
This is tense, isn't it? I mean, this is all you want as a race car driver. It's all on the line right here.
Last 2 spring races at Darlington have gone to Justin Allgaier. He restarts front row with John Hunter Nemechek. 7 laps to go here at Darlington.
What a start by Larson, right on John Hunter.
And Larson's going to sail it off into 1. Yeah, he's going to get clear for second.
Allgaier in 3rd. Austin Hill settles in 4th.
And here we go. The 2 strongest cars all day. I mean, I see the 20 and the 10, and they're going to have a showdown here coming to 6 to go. John Hunter's been better on the short run. Larson's got some fire in him, though, because he's coming from a speed penalty. He's back at, having a chance to win this race. He's going to be driving super hard here as you see him go right to that really high entry into 1.
Coleman?
And that's something that the 20 needs to be really recognizing is Larson's high entry to 1. He's going to have to take a little bit of air away from the 10 car of Larson getting into 1 just so he doesn't have that biggest run off of 2.
5 laps to go this time around. Nemechek in front of Larson, checking the progress of Cole Custer. Fresher tires, he's up to 9th.
Yeah, the tough thing is, you see the 10 entering high into 1, and that's his speed, but the 20 hasn't done that all day, right? And the last handful of laps of the race, gosh, you hate to do something different, something you haven't done all day, and something that is really hard to do is enter that high into 1. But he's doing a good job of running his own race right now and just doing what his car has been comfortable with all day. And he's been able to actually pull a little bit off Larson.
Yeah, you could see when he went high into turn 1, he gained on Larson, but he lost it as they exited turn 2. I think that air that Coleman spoke of is part of the reason why. You got to remember, they're running 170 miles an hour. That wake is hard to deal with at times. Plus, it's the 2 best cars of the day.
That was a good 1 and 2 by Larson. He closed in a little bit there. He hit that turn a little bit better.
I would be surprised if one of those 2 cars don't wind up in the fence, scraping along with everything on the line here, putting it all out there.
You saying that reminds me of what happened the last time we raced here in the Xfinity Series. Kyle Larson a part of that. The last 3 laps led by 3 different drivers. Noah Gragson got the win. Sheldon Creed was there. Kyle Larson a part of the fun. Larson second behind Nemechek. 2.5 laps to go.
He is getting there as well. Every lap he gains just a little bit. Thought he was going to catch the ball.
I thought he was going to hit the fence too.
And we talk about great finishes, not just last year here, but the ending of stage 2. Photo finish for Nemechek over Larson. 2 remaining at Darlington.
This is where Kyle really gains. Whips into turn 1 and watch him
And every lap that goes by, Larson gets faster and faster because, you know, he's better on old tires. Gosh, we're going to have a great last lap and a half here.
Oh, my heart's beating fast.
Neither one of these drivers have a Darlington win. Larson so close at the Cup level and in Xfinity.
Oh, loose there.
Going to be one lap to go. White flag is out, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
If Larson enters turn 3, oh, here he goes.
Larson with a move off of turn 2.
Trying to loosen him up. He did.
For the lead at Darlington.
Big slide job.
Larson inside of John Hunter Nemechek. Side by side to 3. Larson slides up into the wall. Off of turn 4. Here they come back to the checkered flag.
20's back inside of him.
Nemechek is there. Contact. Larson going to be the man that wins it at Darlington. What a finish.
Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
From a speeding penalty to victory lane. Kyle Larson wins at Darlington for the first time in his career. It's his 14th career Xfinity victory.
What an unbelievable finish.
Second
so you
gear.
see Larson's strength right here. He's look how much higher he is entering one. And look at the speed difference. I mean, it's just he's so much faster. It gives him the ability to turn down, put air on the 20's left rear quarter panel, gets him loose up the track. We're able to exit side by side, and you know what, Larson's going to try to slide him into here, and he does. But the 20, they make a little contact on the right rear quarter panel. They both bounce off the wall. The 20 gets back to his inside, and then they just end up banging off each other off of 4 here. But
Larson into the wall and bounced off the wall into John Hunter. Man, I got to tell you, I watched that and tried to figure who you blame this on. I think you blame it on the checkered flag, right?
Hey, I don't blame that on anybody. Larson and John Hunter were standing on the gas on the exit of that corner. Larson committed to hitting the fence on exit to keep his momentum. John Hunter was trying to get to his left rear quarter panel to slow him down, and that's just two guys racing extremely hard for the win.
And what a great move off turn 2 by Larson. Didn't even touch John Hunter, was able to get all the way beside him exiting 2. That was amazing.
Colleague Racing, it's their 3rd win of the season. 2nd for the 10 car, and 2nd time this year a Cup regular has won in the Xfinity Series. We said it earlier. A.J. Allmendinger, a host of problems, comes back, wins at Circuit of the Americas today. Kyle Larson erases a pit road speeding penalty, and he wins at Darlington. Regan?
Kyle Larson, Adam, going to get the checkered flag, as he should after a heck of a performance, Kyle. Winless no more at Darlington. How's this feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Exciting fashion there, too, at the end. We had a really, really good car the whole race, and I made a mistake and sped on pit road, and you knew we were going to have time to get to the front if we got a caution, and we were picking the cars off really fast, and got to 6 before the round of pit stops there, and had some lane selections work out for me, and then yeah, I could really work that line and wanted to and get runs in the center of 1 and 2 there, and was able to pack air on him and get to his inside, and just side drafted really tough there, and again, it was like we were kind of just bouncing off each other a little bit, and I'm not sure what happened into 3, but seemed like he tried to get in behind me to shove me into the corner, and it kind of hooked me right and hit the wall, and just had to try and stay away from him again off of 4. So what an exciting race there.
You mentioned running all those different lines, Kyle, running the top in turn 1 and then getting that run down the backstretch. Did you know what you were going to do when you got to 3 as soon as you got that run?
Well, I didn't really know. I mean, I thought we could race it out without getting into each other, similar to what he did to me at the end of the 2nd stage. He got me free in 1 and 2 and got to my inside and threw a slide job on me and was able to cross me over, or I crossed him over, and we drag raced the line. So was kind of thinking it was going to be like that, but it obviously didn't play out that way. So thanks all you fans for supporting this event. The Throwback Weekend's so much fun. Thanks to Rick Hendrick, Colleague Racing, HendrickCars.com. This has been a lot of fun getting a race for their team. It's been really smooth, getting adjusted to them. Really great guys, and an awesome race car too.
Kyle Larson, your Xfinity winner in Darlington.